Okay, feedback for our short essay quiz question on our client alley. Now, for this one, the answer for the quiz is actually relatively short, but to really give you proper feedback, this is one in Allie's case. We're going through the entire write up will really help provide some context to the answer to the quiz question. So let me elaborate on that a little bit. So before we talk about the differential diagnosis, let me go down and share with you um, the diagnosis I did give. So, and with Allie, going back up here to our client Allie, this is all very provisional. There's a lot more. You see a lot of green notation in here in the write up because there's just a lot more information that we need. And sometimes for our purposes here, that can be a really good learning, like having like, oh man, there's a lot here that I need to find out that's just not just not provided in the script and from our fictional client. Um, so this can be a good learning tool as well. So that's why you see a lot of the um, the green writing here, and I would encourage you to read that because I think it'll put the answer itself more in context, and I think it also helps because you won't need to write all this sort of extra notation in your own write-ups, but hopefully help you in crafting your write-ups for the final exam by having like this extra contextual information. So that when you're doing your own write-ups. Okay, so for Allie, what I found was at least alcohol use disorder mild. It may be more. It may be more moderate or severe, depending on what additional information we're able to ascertain and what that information is. But I think what I find that we have from our short time with Allie is that in terms of how we define a use disorder, so the recurrent use, use despite consequence, and acknowledging that she may have been unfairly targeted, and the whole idea of work events and serving alcohol at work events, and like the lesson learned we can all take in terms of like work events that that are where alcohol is in supply can be uh, something to just be a bit cautious about for any of us. Um, as a bit of an aside. But for Allie, this has definitely been a problem. And so that's why both the recurrent use and the continued use despite consequence um, is of course there's a lot more there, but in terms of the criteria, that's how I think the criteria for use disorder is met, and thusly why in the differential diagnosis it's not non-pathological use. So yes, that's a double negative. But for our purposes in practicing differential diagnosis skills, the reason why it is a use disorder, even if just mild and not pathological, is for all the same reasons. And I think the that she's having a very what I think we get from the script and the actor's portrayal of Allie is that there is some significant work stress and some significant grief over the recent breakup, and that she may very well be medicating that with alcohol, of course, making her grief journey much harder and her ability to manage the stress at work also much more challenging. Okay, so that is the feedback for Allie. I definitely will encourage you on this one to read my entire write up because I think that helps in terms of instructor feedback. Makes the sort of shorter answer about non-pathological use of alcohol for the differential diagnosis. That'll help put it in clearer context, hopefully. Okay.